Have you ever felt frustrated about how people treat you? Or maybe you wish your friends gave you more honest feedback, invited you to more events, or just communicated with you in a better manner? Well, it's easy to think that that's their fault. But what if I told you that you can change other people's behavior without forcing them? In this video, I'll share a mindset shift that can help us do exactly that, and 3 examples which will give this a material sense. So the core idea that I'm trying to convey is instead of wishing that people treat you differently, you need to focus on how you can act to encourage the behavior you want to steer others in the direction that you wish. This is powerful because you have control over your own actions, but not others. This is what you'd call an internal locus, as opposed to an external locus where one would think that anything that happens is outside of their control. So in this way, instead of blaming others or becoming frustrated that they don't act in the way you wish, you can lead by example to encourage the behavior you want. And I'm not trying to say this as a way to manipulate others, and you'll see by the examples. So first example is that perhaps you want to get honest feedback, and in the current status with your friends, you feel that they're giving you ingenuine feedback. So if this is the case, some ways we can encourage this is by saying thank you, even when somebody gives you feedback which you might not agree with, and also avoiding getting defensive when you do get such feedback which you're not happy with, because then that will encourage others to give you feedback that may not be true or is less honest. Lastly, asking clarifying questions when people give you feedback to show that you really do understand and you're not just brushing it off to get away from it. So over time, people will feel safer giving you honest input, which will in turn give you a better signal as to what you can improve. Second, as I've mentioned in the introduction, would be getting invited to more events. So let's say that you love being invited to events, but they don't invite you sometimes, so your friends are giving you the cold shoulder, but perhaps it's because they're afraid that if you can't go, then it'll be an awkward situation. So what you can do is that if you ever are invited and you can't go, you need to show that you are very happy to have received the invitation and gracefully decline, and then express appreciation for the invite even if you can't make it, such that your friends will feel comfortable inviting you even if they know that you might not be able to come, since in the past you weren't like, oh, what the heck, you should change the time so that I can come later, something like that. And the third example would be handling discussions or disagreements productively. So it's important to have productive conversations to encourage constructive disagreement by, as in the first example, paraphrasing the argument that your colleague is explaining so that you can be certain that you're understanding them correctly. Because if you're disagreeing on something which is in fact due to a misunderstanding, then that is extremely unproductive. And then secondly, focusing on the strong points. When we're losing an argument or a conversation is not going the way we hoped, it can be easy to focus on nitpicking small mistakes of the other person instead of focusing on the strong points. But this is to be avoided, once again, if you wish to have a constructive disagreement. And lastly, trying to first establish a common ground before disagreeing, such that you can see exactly from which point onwards the disagreement is happening, and then you can constructively see how this can be reconciled. So those are 3 examples which can give you an idea of how to apply this to yourself. But of course, these are just examples, as I said. The real question is, what behavior do you want from others? So what you want to think about is, how do you want people to treat you? How do you currently react when they treat you in such a way? And how can you make it easier or more rewarding for them to act in the desired manner? So if you want people to give you more compliments, would you accept compliments gratefully when they give them to you, or do you just brush them off? Because if you brush off compliments, then it's certain that you won't get as many moving forward. So next time you feel frustrated by how you're treated by someone else, ask yourself, how can I better reward the behavior I want to receive? And if you really want to be proactive with this, you can comment below what one behavior you would wish others to do towards you is, and explain how you modify how you react to encourage it. So that was all for our video today. I hope you found it useful, and this is the 4th video in the Neil Nanda blog series.